Hello together, be welcome to our technical session today about SharePoint Workbench with Gilles Tanco at Share47, your SharePoint Power and SharePoint Gladiator. Now we want to install our SharePoint solution to create our SharePoint project, and for that we need a specific folder, and you see here like read sp content is the folder where we want to create the project, and with your command your Microsoft SharePoint is the folder where we want to create our application, and the application will call here read sp content, and this should be a SharePoint online application. We don't need to get any alert, and I select here that it should be a web part application, and the name is here read sp content pnp. I have here a description, and it should be a React application. After filling all the form, the application, the SPFX application will be created. Now it is created, and you see here congratulations. Now the next step is to open this application, this code in Visual Studio Code. When we type code dot, then the Visual Studio Code will open, and we have to trust with confirm the certificate, and now we can explore the content of our application. Here we see the different folder, the React content web parts, and also open here the terminal where we have to enter all the command that we can also use the command shell, but we use the terminal directly inside of Visual Studio Code. And when we type here npm install, we want to make sure that all the libraries that are needed are installed, and you can give a look here on the node modules that all the different modules that are important for our application are installed. And you will see that if you want to import like React library, it should exist in this modules, and you see here in the package.json all the libraries that are required for our application. These are installed by default because we are developing here an SPFX for SharePoint Online. Then the version are much higher, and we have here the library for Office UI Fabric, the SP Core library, the web part based library, the Office UI Fabric Core, and you see the different versions that will be installed when we call the command npm install. Now that the installation is completed, we can now try to see if our application can build. We run here gulp build, and this will implicitly call also gulp bundle to bundle our application in a setup. So when this succeeds, that means we have no error in our application here. Now we can start the focus here. We can start the debugging. That means we call with gulp serve, and with gulp serve, our SharePoint web part will now be debugged in the client browser. That means you will see here that a web browser will open and take care on the URL that is open here, and we see that it will run in the local host at a specific port that is also specified, that you will see also here in the terminal. You see that when the application run, it will run on local host at this specific port. And so we can now wait until we see here reload after. When you see here reload after, that means the application is ready reload after 5.2 milliseconds. That means now our application is ready, and we can give a look at the application. When we select here the app, our app, you see that it is now display, and it's running actually on the SharePoint Workbench that we have locally. But if we have content in a SharePoint site, then we want to move to a SharePoint site so that we don't run our application in a local workbench. Now, when we want to make it in a SharePoint site, we need the URL of the SharePoint site. In my case here, I have a default SharePoint site in SharePoint Online in this specific URL that I will copy now and open this server JSON file and add this URL of my SharePoint site here. And at the end, we need also an extension to open the workbench of the SharePoint site. And for that, we need the URL of the SharePoint site. And we have to end this extension layout workbench ASPX at the end of the URL of our site. So this is the workbench for the specific SharePoint site where I want to debug my application. Yes, so when you enter this in the server JSON on the config, now when we save it and open again our terminal, we will then run again gulp serve to start a debug version of our app. And in this case, you will see that the application, our web part, will now run inside of the SharePoint environment in the SharePoint application. The URL see on the top, yes, the URL is now the URL of our SharePoint workbench. Yes, that means if we have some data like list content, like content types that we want to test in the development environment, we can just use it here inside of this app now. So when I select my add app, now you see that there are also other apps that are available in this SharePoint environment, and we can now see that the app is also available there. So best thanks for this short video. I just want to show you how the SharePoint Workbench is simple to use. Yes, I hope you like it. And if you like it, please set a comment and tell me about the topic you want me to make a video about it concerning SharePoint development. Yes, all the topics are open: configuration of environment, using of PNPs, and CSOM. Please let me a comment about what are the topics you want to learn more about. Yes, hope you have a great day today. Best thanks.